The Imam says, لا يكون صاحبه وإن أصاب بكلامه السنة من أهل السنة. A person who debates, he will not be from Ahl Sunnah, even if his argument is in accordance with the arguments of Ahl Sunnah, because of his approach of debating. فالإمام أحمد, as the Shaykh, the explainer says, Shaykh Rabee ibn Haadee, حفظه الله, فالإمام أحمد متشدد في الجدال. Following along up there? So Imam Ahmad was what? Jazakallahu khairan. Was very focused and very stern against argumentation. وأن من يقول أنه لا يتوصل إلى السنة إلا بالجدال. There were some people saying that you would never attain understanding of the Sunnah except through debating people. Meaning through trying and testing your beliefs by, like you say, running it through the mill of argumentation. Let's check our beliefs by arguing about them and make sure they can survive the argument. Some people were saying that in his time. Meaning, when that happens, you see that argumentation has overwhelmed the culture. That it's being said that you don't really have a creed until you can argue about your creed and win the argument. That means you have to subject every point of your creed to argumentation. So look at it, Imam Ahmad, in this kind of culture, he is very strict and stern in forbidding argumentation. So understand the historical context of his stern stance against argumentation. فَهَذَا يَقُولُ غَلَط. And he says this kind of stance is mistaken. وَعَلَى كُلِّ حَالٍ. Anyway, هَذَا الْكَلَامُ لَا يُؤْخَذُ عَلَى إِطْرَاقِهِ. This is important that we take our knowledge of the previous books of the great Imams from the scholars. He says this speech of Imam Ahmad is not to be taken in its general wording, with this kind of general, all-inclusive wording, meaning never enter into any argumentation or debate ever. It's not to be left like that as a blanket prohibition. فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ قَدْ أَبَاحَ لَنَا الْجِدَالَ بِالَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ. For verily Allah has made permissible for us al-jidal. That's the same word that Imam Ahmad is forbidding. That's jidal, argumentation or debating. بِالَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ. In a way that is best, finest, most appropriate for a believer. فَإِذَا اسْتَوْفَ الْجِدَالُ شُرُوطَهُ. If argumentation, meaning debating someone, fulfills the conditions in Islam of debating someone, وَكَانَ الْمُجَادِلُ يُرِيدُ الْحَقِّ. And the one engaging in that debate wishes to attain the truth. لَا يُرِيدُ الْمُبَاهَةَ. Doesn't wish to only conquer someone or, just to see who will win, like they do today with these university academic debates. One of the names of the people that keeps coming up in these is someone named Shabir Ali. Have you heard of this one? Constant debates. They keep setting him up as the Muslim representative against Christians and other people about issues of Trinity and Jesus and these kinds of things. Debate after debate after debate. Right? In the academic setting, which is not permissible. The modern academic setting is not permissible. Why? Because it's moderated by a deviant person. As from the conditions the scholars mention is the debate is allowed in the presence of al-hakim al-adl, in the presence of an upright ruler, the judge that's going to aid the truth when it is there, not the moderator who makes the sunnah equal to bid'ah and give everyone their chance. And he may even aid the innovation over the sunnah. No, but rather it has to be in the presence of people who are prepared to aid the truth. Right? And there are many other conditions as well. This modern day debate, I have seen videos of this man named Shabir Ali debating Christians, and as is expected etiquette of the debates, of the people involved in the debate, that you clap for the other person when he's finished. We've seen a Muslim debating a Christian about, is Jesus the Lord of the creation, for example. Like it needs a really long debate, 2 hours full of back and forth dialogue. Alhamdulillah, da'wah is easy. Tell the people that it's false, that whoever claims it is false, bring a few rational arguments and guide the people to the truth. Debate someone for 2 hours just to quote books and to show your academic prowess and how you can bring resources and respond to someone's argument. At the end, everyone's clapping. For everyone, for both sides. We'd like to thank both of our speakers today for presenting their opinions so well. And the Muslim who's claiming to be on the side of Tawheed, saying that no, Jesus is not Rabbul Alameen, after the Christian builds his argument that Jesus is the Lord of all the creation, subhanallah wa ta'ala Allah, the Muslim will clap for him. It's not even from the etiquettes of a Muslim man to clap in the first place, for anything. It's not even from our etiquettes, right? At-tasfiqu lin-nisa. The clapping is for the women, as our scholars remind us, right? And what was the act of worship? What was the act of worship of the people of Jahiliyyah at the house of Allah? Clapping and whistling. Clapping and whistling. It's the trait of the people of Jahiliyyah, and it's the permissible action of the women amongst themselves. So like a woman who's praying behind her husband in the house, he makes a mistake. Instead of saying subhanallah, what does she do? She claps to indicate that there is a mistake. And the scholars say it's not a brash, loud clapping, open palms like that, but rather the back of one hand into the palm of another, in a way that is befitting the manners of a Muslim, even in her own house, subhanallah. Tayyib. So those debates, look at the kind of falsehood that is presented there when you see a debate like that. So-and-so the Muslim versus so-and-so the Christian. And then they're made equal. On the platform, they are equal. At the end, the truth is not aided. You can say that the Muslim has, if he was successful in showing why no one besides Allah should be worshipped, they will not aid that. They will say at the end, lakum dinukum waliya din, like they came in saying that. We have our religion, you have your religion. It's just for the sake of mughalaba, to see who has more debating skills, to see who has more craftiness in their ability to respond. And that's why they make it 5 minutes for this one, 5 minutes for that one, 3 minutes to respond to his argument, and then 3 minutes to respond, and a counter response of 1 minute if necessary, and all kinds of rules and all of that. And then, as mentioned, clapping and even signs from the person engaged that he is pleased with the speech of the most horrendous type of speech that could be said out of a person's mouth, attributing rububiyyah, lordship, to other than Allah Ta'ala, subhanallah. So we've seen great harms from people promoting, perpetuating this culture of argumentation on an academic level, as if it is acceptable and as if it is in support of our religion, and it's not. So Imam Ahmad in his time was very severe in forbidding it. However, that forbidding is not to be taken blanketly with no exceptions ever. If there are conditions that are fulfilled, like the people who are involved are seeking the truth, they are trying to learn, and they are ready to abandon what they are upon of falsehood if the truth becomes clear to them. And they're saying, look, I have some confusion about what I understand in my religion. As a person of innovation, and you're a person of truth, and you have evidences and you have knowledge, and they say, I wish to ask you a few questions so I might understand really what the correct creed should be in Islam, then even if he has some back and forth, that he wishes to say, well, how can I accept this when something else is the case? And this person is what? Trying to attain the truth. If you see this and you assess the situation like this, then this is something that fulfills the conditions of the permissibility of the debate or the argumentation. Wal-mukabara wal-mu'anada, like people just boasting and trying to overcome the opponent, so it can be said he is the winner of the debate. فَأَنْتَ بَيِّنْ لَهُ بِالَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ. So you clarify to him in a manner that is better, in a manner that is best or finest. أَمَّا إِذَا كَانَ يَمِيلُ إِلَى الْغَضَبِ وَالصِّرَاعِ وَالتَّعَالِي فَاتْرُكْهُ. If he's a person who leans towards, and he has a habit of doing what? Of getting angry, and becoming argumentative and becoming boastfully arrogant over other people, then just abandon this type of person. And the Shaykh mentions evidences of the ulama of today and how they would abandon argumentation. He says, Kana Shaykh ibn Baz, Shaykh Abdul Aziz ibn Baz, rahimahullah, may Allah have mercy on him, who was from the greatest of the scholars of this era. يَأْتِيهِ بَعْضُ الْخَوَارِجِ لِيُنَاظِرَهُمْ مَا يُنَاظِرُهُمْ. Some of the Khawarij cult would come so that he would debate them, and he would not debate them. يَأْتِيهِ بَعْضُ الرَّوَافِضِ. Some of the Shia from the Rawafid sect, the most common sect, the Rafidah. They would come, لِيُجَادِلَهُمْ وَمَا يُجَادِلُهُمْ, in order for him to debate them, and he would not take part in it and not debate them. No? وأخيرا, and in the end he said, قال حتى يدع الجدال ويسلم ويؤمن بالآثار. He says ويسلم. I think it's ويسلم. Until he abandons argumentation, submits, and believes in the narrations. هذا الذي يجب. This is what is binding. That you leave off argumentation, right? A person would not be from Ahl Sunnah until he leaves off the argumentation and simply submits to the text of his religion and believes in the narrations. وَتَرْوِيهَا لِلنَّاسِ وَتَشْرَحُهَا. You narrate them, you believe in them, you narrate them for the people, you explain them, وَتُبَيِّنُهَا لَهُمْ, and you explain them to them, you clarify them to them. إِنْ كَانَ يَصْعَبُ عَلَيْهِمْ فَهْمَهَا وَفَهْمُهَا. If understanding them has been something difficult for the people. إِذَا رَأَيْتَ أَحَدًا يُجَادِلُ بِالَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ. When you see someone, he's debating, he's asking questions like debating questions, yet he's doing so with a good way. يُرِيدُ الْإِسْتِفَادَةَ تُبَيِّنْ لَهُ. And he wishes to gain benefit, he's looking to learn or get benefit, then clarify for him. عِنْدَهُ شُبْهَةً أَزِلْهَا. He has a point of concern, a doubtful matter or a point of confusion, then do away with it for him. Meaning, diagnose it, listen to his argument so that you can find the point of where he has gone astray, identify it for him, and help him to stay away from it. Azilha anhu bilutfin. Do so with gentleness. Wal-hikmati wal-maw'idati al-hasana. And also with wisdom and with beautiful preaching. This is understood from the statement of Allah Ta'ala in Surah An-Nahl, Ud'u ila sabili rabbika bil-hikmati wal-maw'idati al-hasanati wajadilhum billati hiya ahsan. And call to the way of your Lord with wisdom and beautiful preaching. Wajadilhum. It's an order from Allah. Wajadilhum. And engage in debate with them. Billati hiya ahsan. In a way that is finest. Right? Inna rabbaka huwa a'lamu biman dhalla an sabilihi. Then the Shaykh says, وَإِنْ كَانَ يُرِيدُ الْمُمَارَاتِ. If he wants just the sake of going back and forth, arguing, فَلَا تُجَادِلْهُ. Then do not engage him in any type of debate. لِأَنَّ هَذَا لَا يُرِيدُ الْحَقَّ. Because this kind of person doesn't want the truth. وَلَنْ تَصِلَ مَعَهُ إِلَى نَتِيجَةٍ. You're not going to be able to go with him and reach any type of productive benefit. No?